What's happening? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles live, sponsored by Fryette Amplification, New York Hardcore Comics, and now the Organic Grill. Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome from everyone around the world. Oi, Brian Whittemore, what's up? Rich Zoller, what's happening? Central Scrutinizer, the gang's all here. Hi, Gina. Here we go. This is going to be an interesting, fun show. It's a Sunday A7 matinee show, so that's cool. So we got our A7 people checking in. I want to make sure everybody knows what's coming up show-wise. By the way, I'm going back to New York tomorrow. What? Crazy. I've been here in Florida for 3 months and a week now. 13 weeks right here. Doing the show from my dad's kitchen, live from Arnie's kitchen. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles live. How about that? I'm going back to New York tomorrow. And I'm excited and nervous about it. So the next time you see me after today's show, which will be this show with Dave Smalley, we will be in New York City. So that should be pretty cool. So New York City, here I come. Dave Smalley on Wednesday. And then on Friday is Luke from Gorilla Biscuits and Warzone. We got that coming up. And of course, I announced this the last show, old school Boston hardcore show with our old friend Christina Lise McCarthy, who was a part of the early Boston hardcore scene. She was there and all the SSD control stuff and all the stuff. And of course, she went on to be an actress in Beverly Hills 90210 and Child's Play 2, the Chucky stuff and all that. So this is going to that's a really interesting show and a lot of fun. Also, I have a birthday coming up. And I want to announce that on my birthday, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. On my birthday, the guest is going to be you. Basically, it's what I want to do on my birthday. I'm going to put the link in the chat room. And the show's open for anybody and everybody to come on my birthday. And a few special guests are going to be stopping by. So it's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, starring you. It's the People's Choice episode. So there you go. We see Poland. What's up from Poland? All right, Lucas. Nico in France. What's happening? Norway. What's up? Norway checking in. What's up, Dominic? Leeds, UK. What's happening? There you go. Oh, Lori Dawn, did I just see you? Hi, Lori. Lori, believe me, when it comes to Christine Cambria's art, I've got plenty of it. Lots of it. So there you go. Lori's referring to the Christine Cambria art. www.ccambria.com. Check it out. Christine's art is amazing. So let's get it moving. Let's get it moving and grooving. And let's get photo of the day happening. Let me get these banners off. Steven Messina, what's happening, bro?
Hello.
Oh, hello. Hello, Ball. Was it the honeymooners? Hello. Actually,
world.
I look like I'm playing golf here in Florida. It's like
that's it. You got to get back. Well, tomorrow we'll change all that.
Yeah, I'm flying back tomorrow. I don't know. Do I keep the sideburns? Do I keep the burns? I haven't had this much hair in years, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So
it's pretty. So you may end up going full skin. So
skinhead. No, once I get back in the mix, it's skinhead. Ugh. All right. So anyway, what's going on here from Fotis? Hardcore Lives. Fotis from Athens. All right.
Nice.
What's happening, my Greek brother?
Greece in the house.
Yeah, what's this? Keep the sideburns. Yeah, just might. We'll see what's happening. London's in the house. Whoa. Things are moving fast. Hi from Deutschland. All right. Germany in the house. All right. Good. Nice T-shirt, Steve.
Thank you.
Here. What is it? Let's see. Show the fans out there. Murphy's Law. Oh, with the old school New York cab. That's pretty cool. All right, here we go. Let's do photo of the day. Here we go. This is a Sunday A7 matinee show, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, here you go. Boom. Let me get this other stuff off. Okay.
All right, people.
Let's see. What do you got there? Well, I mean, obviously, this is not obviously, but this is, I could tell that this is A7, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is one of our A7 shows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no,
Excuse
this
me.
is one of ours. And the funny thing about this is I'm usually on the other side. And, I'm usually on, where I am, up on the thing. This time I was standing right by the guitar player because I wanted to get a different angle. And that guy just flew right over me, and you could see him head over heels. And
Is that some Sharpie feet there?
Those might be. You know what? Now that you mention it, that might be Sharpie.
That might be.
That might be.
Can anybody not put in a guess as to who this is? That's interesting.
This was their first show there. I know that for our
Right.
series, and they were great. I'm not going to say who it is yet.
Okay, I think I know who it is, but I'm not.
I think you know.
Yeah. Well, this is one of our good time fucking bands. That's for sure.
Oh,
And they definitely blew up the spot.
And I was so looking forward to them, returning, and and hopefully we will get them back when the world comes back.
Absolutely. All right. Well,
Any guesses?
No one's even guessing. People are just. This one's. I think you might have flummoxed some people with this one.
Come on, people. That's okay. Listen, you can't get them all.
Yeah.
And we can't make them all easy for you.
Right.
So if you haven't heard this band, you should check out this band, and they're called the South Class Veterans.
Right.
And where were they from? Were they from Philly?
Jersey?
Jersey? I don't remember where they were from.
Jersey, Philly?
But they were great, and they just total energy, and they brought a whole crew of people that were singing along and ripping the place up, and it was one of. In fact, that particular show. I mean, we've had all good shows, but this show we had Maximum Penalty, we had Last Stand, we had End of Hope, we had Gorilla Glue, and we had Posse in Effect that day.
Oh yeah, well we love Posse in Effect, man.
What a show that was! I mean,
yeah, that was a good one.
We just.
Was that the first time or the second time Posse in Effect played?
I think that was the second time.
Yeah,
because
they're a big fan favorite, Posse in Effect.
Yeah, that was February of this year, so they played last year too.
Right.
And those guys were great. They were just, you know what? The more I think about it, then now that the world is starting to open up again, I just can't wait to get back in there. Listen, if everyone's paranoid, I'll be the guy that goes first.
I'm paranoid. All right. Cool.
I got a couple of shout outs.
Go ahead.
I want to shout out Rich Ramirez, drummer from 9 Lives, also at KCBC, Kings County Brewers Collective in Brooklyn. He's my beer guru. And Rob Granger and Serial Poets and the Worldwide Hardcore Firing Squad, my boys.
Right on. And hey, when we do my birthday, we're doing a private show too for all the Patreons next week, right? All right. I'll see you soon, bro.
Back in the New York groove.
Yep. Talk to you in a bit. There you have it, Stephen Messina, Hardcore Shutterbug. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles live, sponsored by Fryette Amplification, New York Hardcore Comics, and now the Organic Grill. Organic Grill is a vegan restaurant located in the East Village of New York City. Featured in New York Magazine, the New York Times, and Veg News. Their dishes have won numerous awards, including Best Veggie Burger. They make their own cheeses, sausages, burger patties, and every dish on the menu can be made gluten-free. For all you gluten-free people. This year, they are celebrating their 20th anniversary down there at 123 First Avenue. And they're all about having a great time while enjoying amazing clean food. After 3 months of being closed, they're now open for deliveries. Get in touch with them and order some great food at www.theorganicgrill.com. Here you go, Organic Grill. Let's get down. Moving and grooving, moving right along. That's right. Yum. Yup, yum. There you go. How about what's up with Rat Bones? What's up?
Am I out of frame? What's going on here?
You're what?
Got scooch over.
No, you're good. Let me get that. Let me get that out of your face, bro. You're good.
What's going on?
Happening? Happy Sunday, bro.
Happy Sunday to everybody.
Yeah, man.
Going down. You want to jump right into it or what? We'll jump into it. You know,
Listen, bro. Let's jump right into it.
Too much is not enough for me. You know how I get it. So we're gonna start off today with some classic Transformer. These are like Beast Transformers. You get like 5 of them, and they make one giant guy. So that's the first toy, the Transformer in his glory. That's the first toy. We love the Transformers. Digging that Continental shirt. Well, we got this Godzilla. It's super clean, super cool looking. I just got this. There he is. I just got this. I bought a huge mystery box off a friend of mine, and I got tons of shit.
Let me guess. From fucking Gutter Christ.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I came off. Yeah, it's cool. So there you go. Godzilla. Then we got the big guy of the day. Nothing's related today. I just felt like showing off, you know. And then we got this guy. It's super cool. Let's see who knows who he is. Let's see who knows who he is.
I couldn't guess. Here.
Everybody should know.
Mumta?
Mumra.
Oh, Mumra.
Thundercats.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Sid got it. Mumra.
Yeah. So this is pretty cool. Again, I got that in my mystery package, my mystery box I bought. Super cool shit. And I just want to show one more thing I got since we got Michael Graves on. I'm glad I've got to see him. I got to see him with the Misfits. We got this little joint. I love these guys. The only reason I'm showing this today is I don't know if a lot of people know it, but that skull right there in the center is where I got the skulls for my neck. Off of that record. And I got the Crimson Ghost and the Sam Hain on the back of my neck too. But I got this joint, and then I'll let you guys go and get into the show. This was a day. Let's see who remembers this day.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Wait. Is Alive and Well Fest, right?
Yes.
Didn't Biohazard play that thing?
No, but Breakdown did. Look at the after party. See that?
And wait, Fury of 5, right?
I don't think Fury. Yeah, they're there.
Yeah. I have some pictures of that.
This is the infamous. I stepped on Mitt's guitar. He hates me. That was this day.
Right.
Yeah, that was the. I mean, look at all those New York hardcore bands in one day, man. That was like,
yep, super
cool day. Cool. So we're excited to hear some tales from the crypt from Mr. Michael Graves. And
man.
Sunday, we're hanging. It's a beautiful day outside. Let's have a great run. Let's go.
Thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
And we'll see everyone in the park next week.
Yeah, that's right. For those, right. So a week from today, Saturday, June 20th, we're having a little get-together in Tompkins Square Park. Tompkins Square Park, the sidewalk in the park. It's an informal gathering. I'm still trying to find out exactly, the A7 is going to be open for drinks and for food, but, we can't gather in mass in front of the place or they might get tickets. We don't want them to get any tickets. So we're going to have to spread it out. We have to observe proper social distancing in the park and on the sidewalk of the park and on the sidewalk. We just got to spread it out. But the bottom line is if you dare come out, I'll see you down there. And also, I will have these for sale, which are the A7 throwback shirts. These are going to be for sale, and for $20, for a hard-earned $20, and I'll have all sizes. I'll be selling them out of the trunk of my car, like old school rack tape, bro. I'll be selling it out of the trunk of my car, you know, like just hustling out of my trunk, you know. And I see Lenny checking in. Yeah, Lenny, we'll see. Yeah, oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. This Saturday, not a week from today. This upcoming Saturday, the 20th, is when it's going down. Thanks, Brian Whittemore, for pointing that out to me. So yeah, we'll see everybody on Saturday down there. Everybody just has to behave themselves and not get too crazy. Look, you can bring drinks in the park. I haven't been back to New York, but I'm told that you can get drinks from the bar and walk out into the park with them, right?
Hey, I went there yesterday. I went by Niagara. I do a little job over there in the Lower East Side. I went in the park. I sat down on the bench. There was people all over the place coming and going. Come on.
All right, good.
It's coming back to normal.
Good. All right, buddy. We'll see you towards the end of the show.
All right, I'll give him a shout-outs later.
Thank you, buddy. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by Freight Amplification, New York Hardcore Comics, and the Organic Grill. Hope you're well. By the way, everybody that ordered the A7 T-shirts, they will be shipping out next week. And that's right. Everybody's drinking in the park. Yep. Let's not get too crazy. I want to mention a couple things. I want to mention New York Hardcore Comics, opened back in 2013 when lifelong friends Debo the Pro and Lee Fairley combined their collections and obsessions for comic books, punk rock, toys, statues, magic, The Gathering, and all things horror. The store is located at 117 Main Street in Dobbs Ferry, New York. If you want to support them during this pandemic, please contact them via email at NewYorkHardcoreComics@gmail.com or any social media channel for an exclusive store package. $20 gets you one of each. Exclusive shop t-shirt and sticker. Marvel Comics Venom #1 exclusive to New York Hardcore Comics. That's New York Hardcore Comics. You love them. We love them. It's a love fest. Also, I want to mention, I want to fly my freak flag. I fly my banner here. This is my Patreon. That's my Patreon page. And I know that there's a bunch of you out there that are patrons on my Patreon page, and I want to thank you for being a part of it. Go check out my Patreon page. There's a $2 tier, a $5 tier, a $10 tier, so on and so forth. We're doing a lot of cool stuff, including we're doing this. We're doing this in a couple of days. We're doing a special Patreon show just for you patrons out there. That's happening probably next week. Everybody that's on the Patreon page will be a part of that. And I'm just posting all kinds of great stuff. Like I've said before, I'm fucking sick of posting up my stuff on the internet and then having it handed over and over. I see it for 5 minutes later on 10 different websites and with no credit or anything. I'm just tired of it. So my Patreon page is where all the never before seen content is going. And there's a lot of stuff going on there, especially when I get back to New York City, when I'm back in the command center, when I'm back in the bunker. It's on tomorrow. So there's that part of it. And for those that can't handle the statistical density of the Patreon page, there is a PayPal page. And there you go. PayPal is stone4124 at AOL. That's right. I still have an AOL address since the dawn of the internet. Ask Craig Satari. Craig Satari, I've been friends with Craig a while. I'm the first one that showed Craig the internet. He was in 90 whatever. I still have that same email address. Yes, Vinny, thank you for your support. Support Drew with a little loot, everyone. Listen, live stream from the park. We're talking about doing the show live from A7. It won't be the 20th, but I'm talking to Jesse Mallon, and looks like we're going to be doing a couple of these Sunday shows. My vision is I want to do a Sunday show with like the plaque right in the background and that kind of thing. So I'm coming back to New York. I'm back in the New York groove. Yo, I'm going to sing that on the next show. Yes, the Patreon show is going to be a good one. And then the show where everyone comes on, that's why Anthony Fuman, why the hell would someone not give you the credit? Some people are really fucked up. Love from the 518, Drew. This for what you do. Well, thank you, Anthony. Listen, I get it. There's a lot of young kids out there. There's a couple of 15-year-old kids in their parents' basements, and they just grab shit off the internet and on their own little website, put it up or whatever. But it's definitely escalated to the point where everybody's just grabbing everybody else's content. And I will say this about my films. You know, I bust my ass making films for a year or two, and then, you know, and they don't magically happen. And then as soon as they're released, I see them on the internet for free. That's a problem, and that's not cool. So, you know, I've been sort of dealing with this for a long time. Everybody wants free. Everybody thinks everything should be free. We live in a free world. It's free. The fuck out of here. It's not free. There's no such thing as free. Stop with that. You know, bands, it costs money for bands to record. My films cost money. There's a toll on the bridge to get to the gig to play for free. You know, yeah, I could put a watermark on them. You know, I just hate to do that. You know, we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's what's up. Would appreciate your support and support this show. This show's been a great worldwide success, and it's successful because of you, and you. So thank you very much. I want to shout out last but not least here. Here we go. Frayet Amplification is a small company that makes guitar amps, attenuators, and direct recording products in North Hollywood, California. Their gear is used by the Deftones, Helmet, Candiria, Stone Temple Pilots, Powerflow, Antidote, Volbeat, Downset, and many other heavy bands. The brand new Deliverance 2 heads are available at Frayet.com. That's Frayet Amplification, sponsor of the show. So here we go. Let me clear the deck here. There's your last dibs on the Patreon page and on the PayPal page. So roll your sleeves up and get involved. Let me get all this stuff off, and let's bring on our guest for today. Come on, get out of here. Get out of here with that shit. I'm even going to clear the banners beforehand before we bring them on, so it's nice. All right. Let me get my paperwork. Everybody ready? Here we go. Make sure. Here we go. Today's guest is an American singer and songwriter hailing from Dumont, New Jersey. Had a lot of New Jersey people. Every show, everyone's from Jersey these days. He is most well known as the lead singer for the 1990s reincarnation of the Misfits from 1995 to 2000 and sang on the albums American Psycho and Famous Monsters. He also wrote original songs for the band, including Dig Up Her Bones, American Psycho, Scream, Saturday Night, This Island Earth, Fiend Without a Face, Shining, The Haunting, Devil Doll, Witch Hunt, and Fiend Club. He's also released several albums as a solo artist. Please welcome the very controversial Michael Graves. What's happening?
What's happening, Drew Stone?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Boy, it's good to see you. I love what you're doing, man. This is fantastic.
Well, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you taking some time off from your busy schedule of getting everybody excited and freaked out to come onto my show.
I penciled you in, bro. You know, I got a lot going on, but we go way back, so I penciled you in. Here I am.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. Let's see. Let's kick it around a little bit. Let's have some fun. Tell me and the gang, what happened when the shit hit the fan here, and were you out on the road, and what's going on with what happened when this whole thing went down with you?
I was about a week into an acoustic tour called the Long Road to You tour, and what it is an acoustic show that I'm performing. And behind me, we have screens that project video images that are synced with what I'm doing, and I'm telling stories. And it's a real interactive sort of thing. What I'm trying to do is, you know, bring bring the interactivity and innovate to a more encompassing show, you know. So
I'd like to see that.
We're a week into this thing, and
Uh-huh.
you know, some of us were definitely paying attention and could see the momentum of something coming. And so it was just every day this escalation is shit until finally everything was closing down around us. And I had to make the call. We had to make the call to go home. We're in Birmingham, Alabama.
All right.
And when I was looking at my route on the tour, everywhere we were going, the virus wasn't yet. So we wound up in Alabama, and we were supposed to head for Florida. Already the East Coast was, you know, everybody was freaking out, and it was big time down. So I was in the middle of an acoustic tour. We turned around and about 8 hours to get home, and it was over.
Oh, you froze up on me a little bit.
Ah, sorry. You got me?
I do. I got you a little bit. Let's do this. Sign off and sign back on real quick. That usually works.
All right.
Try that.
All right. Signing off.
Signing off. Well, there you go. Michael Graves. He'll be back in a second. But hey, look, you know, we run a clean show here. It's not a political show. I created this show as an alternative to everything that was going on out there. So Michael Graves is coming on today, and we're going to talk about music and stuff like that. We're not going to get into the political stuff here. So if it's the political stuff you want, this might not be the place for you. But if you're interested in music and folklore and New York hardcore stuff, this is definitely the place for you. So we're waiting for him to come back in a minute here. In the meantime, what else do I got? Kind of covered all the bases already. So Instagram, yeah, follow me on Instagram, Stone41, Stone Films NYC, if you can. Hey, maybe we lost him forever. Maybe it was never meant to be. That would be crazy. Andrew Drew, hey, Andrew Ray, hey Drew, hey Andrew, hope you're well. Will the house phone ring one last time? Don't know. Will the house phone ring one last time? It's hard to say. We don't know. We don't know. You taking questions? Yeah. If Graves makes it back, we'll be taking some questions. Yep. Here we go. Hey.
Got me. Yeah.
I got you.
Right. I'll bring my volume down. Maybe I was gonna bandwidth.
No, it wasn't that. You're just sort of clippy, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So the tour. What happened?
Wound up in Birmingham, Alabama, and had to go home. Yeah, I was in Birmingham, Alabama, and I had to make the decision to go home. Everything was closing around us, made us to continue. You know, everything was closing, so we went home.
And that was that, huh?
That was that.
Let's talk
Got myself
about
back on the farm.
right. Let me see. Love your show, Drew. Thanks for making these. Okay, I will be nice today, Drew. Good. You better be. Okay, good. Everyone's gonna be nice. Who's this? Who's this? Jessica Steele. Is this one of your people?
That's one of my Well, it's she's a big fan. She's
Good.
dialed in. She's dialed in.
Yep. Tell us about. Let's get into it. Where did you grow up, and how did you get into music? Did you come from a musical home?
No, I don't know where the music came from in me. I grew up in northeastern New Jersey, in Newmont. You know, it's about 12 minutes to get to the George Washington Bridge. My family grew up in the Bronx, and then it moved to do. You know, a few years before I was born. music, I don't know where the music came from in me. When the
Hey,
first
turn
dream-
up your volume a little bit, Michael. Everyone, yeah, you go up. Yeah.
How's
there
that?
you- oh
How's
yeah, there
that?
you go. There you
All
go.
right.
Good.
Again, I don't want to suck up too much
Oh.
bandwidth.
A little lower. A little lower.
All right. Boo, ha ha ha.
All right,
Yeah,
go with
how's that?
that.
Good.
Keep going.
All right.
We're good.
All right. So yeah, the first thing that I wanted to do in my life was be a preacher. Yeah. And until about the age of 7 or 8, where I just music. I don't know, music started to do something to me. I felt it every time I listened to a song, like everybody else. It does something to you inside you. And I felt compelled to want to do that. I wanted to sing. I wanted to be what that energy was coming out of. So I really started to just listen to as much music as I possibly could. I remember 8 tracks. In these days, there's an 8-track player in my house and records, and just listening to everything and anything. And I had an older brother who's about 4 years older than me, so his musical tastes were 4 years ahead of mine. So where I discovered punk rock, where I discovered metal, where I discovered rock, it was my brother and my uncle as well that I grew up with in the house. So I eventually found a guitar in a closet in my house, and
this is all in Dumont, New Jersey.
This is all in Dumont, New Jersey. Yeah,
I know a little Dumont, New Jersey. I know the area a little bit. So that's in Dumont, Alpine, right? Dumont, Alpine, Englewood, right?
Yeah, it's like Dumont, Demarest.
Demarest. That's it. Yeah.
Bergenfield, New Milford.
Right. Yep.
Haworth.
Got it.
The Haworth Duck Pond.
Yes. Right.
They used to have shows there. I started my first band. I was probably about 12 years old. It was me. It was Scott Donahue, Dave Hogan, and eventually, his name was Mike Rhodes. Great drummer. My first band was called Bambi Slam, and then we had to change it because there was already a band called Bambi Slam.
Slam?
Bambi Slam, yeah. And then check this out. We changed our name to Social Outcast, and I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's like a good. That's like a good band for like a bunch of teenage kids,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We were Social Outcasts. We were.
Yeah. In Demarest.
Yeah. Right. In Dumont, our life was hard.
Which isn't too hard in Dumont to be a social outcast.
Well, yeah. Right.
No.
Tough on the streets of Dumont.
You're right. The struggle is real. So all right. So first band.
Band I was in.
Yeah, that was the first band you were in, right?
Yeah. I would say that was definitely the first band was Social Outcast. Eventually, I wound up playing bass in high school. I had my problems in Dumont. I got kicked out. I had to leave Dumont. I went to Rockley for a couple years. And then I met somebody that I was going to school with, and he had his band called Valmont. I started playing bass for him. And it was like a gothic band. We're talking, this is like 1990, 91. And then I moved on to a band called Mopes.
Right.
My senior year in high school, and then the year after high school, right before the Misfits, I was in a band called Mopes. I was singing and I was writing, and I was also going to a lot of shows in and around New York City because I love Life of Agony. I love Typo. I loved seeing Biohazard. I loved New York City hardcore. And I was dating this chick, and she was like a big Typo Negative fan. I'd go see Carnivore, and so I really started to focus on writing because I loved what I was seeing around me, and I was getting out more. And as we're working with the Mopes, and it gets time to make a demo for the band, I found a studio in Lodi, New Jersey. I walked into the studio and we start recording our songs. And at some point, Bobby Aleka, who owns the studio, says there's these guys called the Misfits, and they're looking to get back together. They need a singer. It didn't click in my mind who they were. And I remember the first thing I said to him was like, man, I don't know if I could sing like that, because I'm thinking it was going to be like some sort of like death metal. And so, yeah, I got in touch with Jerry. He told me learn as much material as you possibly can. And when you feel comfortable, call me up and we'll audition. And I auditioned on the night before my 20th birthday.
Wow.
I went up there, and it was just me, Chud, and Jerry. Doyle didn't show up. And we jammed like for 2 hours. We just jammed everything.
Let me ask you, when you had to go out and learn the material, did you gravitate to anything, or what did you grab? The compilation collection, Walk Among Us? What was like the go-to?
I walked into a record store in Ridgewood, New Jersey, because the girl that I was with lived in Ridgewood. I walked into a record store and I grabbed it was a collection. It was the yellow.
Yeah,
it was the yellow
I think
CD.
it's called Collection 1. Yeah.
But before I even did that, I had friends who were skinheads and punks. They were older than me, and they found out that I was gonna do this, and they were like, "You gotta come over right now." So I'm like, "All right," so I come over,
Right.
and I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and what was brought to me with headphones was a cassette copy of Henry Rollins' "Get in the Van" and a vinyl copy of Legacy of Brutality. And so I listened to "Get in the Van" by Henry Rollins, and I started to listen to Static Age, and I just remember hearing this music and going, I got this. Like, I got this.
That's awesome.
I got it.
That's awesome. That's a good feeling, I mean, I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When I mean, not to change the course here, but when I met with Michael Alago to make the film with him, which we'll get into later because you're part of that history. When I first met with him about the film, and he said to me, we were talking, and he just said to me, I just love music. Yeah. And it really spoke to me. And like in that 1 second, I was like, this is the kid I went to public school with in the Bronx. I know who this kid is. I got this. Yeah. I just knew it. I just fucking knew I could make a great film about this guy. I got this.
Right. It's a great feeling. And
did you I mean, Glenn is a great singer. Glenn's a unique singer, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Elvis Presley. I'm a fan of Jim Morrison. I'm a fan of Glenn Danzig.
Yeah, I'm 45. So to a 20-year-old or 19-year-old, when you say Glenn Danzig, I'm an MTV kid. Yeah. So my brother knew the Misfits. I was kind of. I heard the Misfits because I would be skating and somebody would put Skulls on or something like that. But I knew Glenn Danzig as Mother. It was such a big song, and it was on MTV.
Sure.
Which added to the pressure of the situation.
Yep.
So yeah.
But I remember coming out to Jerry's place and seeing those guys for some reason or another, and you were like hanging around with those guys, and like, were you singing? Like it was sort of like, were you the singer
I was
yet?
In limbo.
You were in limbo for a long time, right?
I was in Misfits purgatory. Some people out there have definitely experienced Misfits purgatory, and they know what I'm talking about. You exist in that gray area,
right?
I was good. They were thinking I was going to be a singer. Glenn come back. Dave Vanian might sing.
Yeah, right.
It was all this thing. But now, as October approached, we hung out in the circles in New York City. Hardcore was was going at that point. And we had Ken Creedy reached out, and
Yes.
and he goes, listen, Typo Negative is playing. You know, they're riding high on Bloody Kisses. And so Ken calls up and he's like, Typo Negative is playing at the Roseland because the Misfits have to come out on Halloween. They have to relaunch a Halloween. May
Right.
15th makes no fucking sense. So Ken's like, why don't you guys come out for the encore? You guys can do your whole relaunch. The place is going to be sold out. It's Halloween. It's perfect. Typo Negative. So they go, that's a fucking great idea. All right, let's do this. But we don't have a singer. And they asked Ken if they said go ask Pete if he'll ask Pete Steele if he'll do it. So Ken Creedy asked Pete if he'll do it. Pete says yes, I'll do it, but I don't know any of the songs. So they call me,
Right.
and they go, "Yo, you want to come to Brooklyn and teach Pete these songs so that we can come out for this show?" And I'm like, "Fuck, of course." I'm the kid. A couple years ago, I walked up to Pete Steele and gave him a demo. You know. Was like, yo, man, anytime you get some time, you want to check out this demo, check out my stuff, that would be awesome. And Pete was the coolest guy. You know, he used to come out and hang out at the merch booth. I saw him by the merch booth, and he was so cool to me. So we go to Brooklyn, and we're getting ready for this show, and I start doing the songs, and you know, it was like Halloween Horror Business, and I did it once, and then Pete would do it, and then he gives a microphone back to me. And we get like 45 minutes into this, and Pete goes, just stop. He's like, this is crazy. He's like, this kid's got to be your singer. He's like, he sings these songs better, certainly fucking better than me. Why are you going to put me up on the stage? This is your guy. And that was it, bro.
That's awesome.
I was in the band.
That's great, man. That's great. And just, you know what? Somebody, you know, I just saw, hold on. I think, here you go. Just someone checking in from Germany. Mosh, I did his first tour as tour manager with the Misfits in Europe. Remember Mosh?
How can I forget Mosh?
There you go, Mosh. Yep. I think that's was that the tour? I think that's the tour I was on with you guys, right? Yeah. Gotta be.
Remember Mosh?
Oh, you know, I remember Mosh. Yeah, that's gotta be how I. Yeah.
Bald Mosh. I am Mosh. We go to the next show immediately and not a minute sooner or later now.
Listen to me. Shut up. So listen, you know, we poke around during the show. If somebody got to say hello, here's an interesting. We'll grab a few questions. But here's an interesting question from another. Have you ever met Glenn Danzig?
I've never met Glenn.
Right.
No.
Yep.
No, but when I do, I have a sneaking suspicion that we'd get on, and I know that because Doyle and Glenn get along with each other.
Yeah,
and
yeah, they do.
You know, Doyle and I are buds, so you know.
Yep.
I can't. I'm gonna meet him. Even you know what, Drew. Even if I could just roll up on him and just say, Glenn, thank you, like thank you for everything. That's all I want to say. I hope that my hope, what I always focused on when I was in the Misfits, and I mean this, was would Glenn look at this music and what we're doing right now and what I'm doing with what he was born out of him? It was born out of Glenn. Would he be proud? Would he say, all right, it's not what I would do, but man, okay, right on. I always put everything through that lens.
Yeah, I absolutely, I remember that. And another question. So you joined the band, and we'll get to this, but you sort of joined the band, and then at the same time they got a deal. Alago signed them to Geffen Records, or did you have to demo everything out, or how'd that work?
So we get together after the Coney Island High show. We're back. Right, so we go away and we start rehearsing and getting ready for what was the Resurrection tour. And we didn't do any originals on that tour, except maybe towards the end we threw in maybe 1 or 2 songs. But we did the Resurrection tour, which was all the old stuff. We did it all from Static Age all the way to Earth AD.
I remember that set list, bro. It was like a marathon, dude.
Right, and it didn't stop.
It was it was like
didn't
2.5 hours of just bam, 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 bam.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was great.
So during that tour, that's where we met Mike Alago. It was Misfits, Anthrax, Life of Agony, Cannibal Corpse.
Wow.
And I started to hear about this guy from Geffen Records. His name was Michael Alago, who just anybody that you love, Mike Alago, signed. And he comes out and he's starting to hang out on the tour, and we all get to know each other, and he's getting to know me, and we're talking about the future, and he's so interested. He's just so energetic about what we're doing. And so I knew that the opportunity was ahead of us. I saw what was coming, so I immediately started writing, especially after having the conversations that I did with Mike about, I'm younger. I think I want to write this record about this book that I've been reading, and kind of called American Psycho, and the mindset around that character, and the way that he views the world, and the duality of things in his mind. And so and he just ate it up. Mike, he was just like, "Oh my God, this is beautiful,
fabulous."
Yeah, because he definitely saw what I saw, and that was really exciting for me, and he gave me a lot of confidence.
Yep. And that record. Here's our friend Bob Riley from Murderers Row Stigmata, who's up in Troy, New York. Troy, New York. Troy, New York. We've met the enemy, and the enemy is us. Troy, New York. One of my favorite places in the world. Bob Riley. I first saw Mike with the Misfits at Action Park, New Jersey. It was epic. I had no doubts about him after that. Mike is great.
Thank you. That's the only show that my mom and dad came to see me at.
Really?
Yeah. It's the first time my parents and only time my parents saw me perform with the Misfits. Wow. I actually, during that whole purgatory thing, I worked at Action Park, and I was the guy that
so was that the connection that got the Misfits into Action Park? Was you?
Nah, the family knew somebody.
Yeah.
But there was, and I can't remember his name. He was really, really great photographer. Real long hair that used to hang around with
Frank White.
Frank White. It was somebody. It wasn't Frank White. It was somebody else, I think.
Okay.
And he had some sort of photo booth type thing at Action Park. And since I was up there all the time in Misfits Purgatory, I got a job there. And my job was the slingshot ride. If you wanted a videotape of your slingshot ride, I did it. So I would walk up to you and I would try to sell you the slingshot ride. Oh man, I zoom right in on your face. Yo, check it out. It could be, look at this, huh? Yeah, it'll look just like this and bookended. It'll be great, $30. And that's what I did. I was the slingshot videotape guy.
That's awesome.
At Action Park.
So you're a pretty proficient writer, and you wrote quite a bit of material for American Psycho, right? Was any of that material written beforehand? Was any of that like carried over from maybe Christ the Conqueror, which was their thing before that? Or, was it all fresh and organic, or was there some carryover stuff?
It really was majority fresh material. The only thing of mine that that was already in existence was Dig Up Her Bones. Yeah. So the first thing that I wrote for American Psycho, it was like a batch of songs that I actually brought to Doyle's. I would sit at my house. I didn't even have an electric guitar, and I was still living at my mom's. And so I would wake up in the morning and grab my acoustic guitar and start writing these songs. And I wrote like Walk Among Us. I wrote Beware, that later down the line after I was in the Misfits that I released that song. A song called The Enemy. We did Dig Up Her Bones, American Psycho, Resurrection. It really all once it started coming out, it just really poured out of me. The Haunting.
Wasn't I mean, Dig Up Her Bones has really kind of become one of your signature songs, right?
It's insane. Yeah. Yeah.
It's got a life of its own.
Yeah, tens and tens of millions of times it's been downloaded on the internet. Almost 100 million times.
And Daniel Ray produced that record, right?
Daniel Ray. Yeah. Man, I look back at those days and I was such a punk ass. I had such a bad attitude sometimes. And it's so funny. I got to see Daniel Ray. We were doing something with Marky Ramone in the stadium. It was his big deal. It was his launch through Tommy Hilfiger. He was doing his clothing line in one of Tommy's stores. And in the bus that night, I hadn't seen Daniel Ray since I was a kid. And he came on. And I was like, Daniel, I got to apologize for you for a lot of the way, the way that I was sometimes when back in the day. I was such an ass.
You weren't, man. You weren't that bad, bro. You were young, but you listen. We were young.
What an amazing thing to be able to.
Oh, here you go.
Likes Daniel Ray.
This is Don't Open Till Doomsday, man. That's a great one too, man.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
That's a Jerry only. Jerry only wrote that song. I remember going to his house and him showing it to me.
He wrote that lyrics and music.
Yeah, well, I helped them with the lyrics.
Right.
That the one thing with both Jerry and Doyle, they're music guys. They definitely nail the music, and when it was a collaborative thing, I was the guy really that would come in and be the language guy and really work the lyrics out. Cool,
that makes sense. Hey, hang with me a second. I want to shout out the sponsors. And then will you do record of the week with us too?
I'd love to. Yeah, of course.
All right, hang in there. We'll be right back. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by Fryette Amplification, New York Hardcore Comics, and now the Organic Grill, 123 First Avenue. I hope everybody's enjoying the show. Our guest today is Michael Graves, formerly of the Misfits, Gotham Road, incredible solo artist, and a somewhat controversial figure. But today we're here to talk music. Sorry to disappoint you. If you want drama, go elsewhere. Today we talk music here. Couple of things, a couple shows coming up. I want to announce a show for you people. Here's a show for you. How about a week from today on the show, we have Mr. Steve Zing. What's up? Steve Zing's going to be on the show a week from today. So come and stop by. Should be cool. Should be a good one. Also, don't forget we got Dave Smalley on Wednesday, Lukey Luke on Friday, Steve Zing on Sunday, and then figuring out what's next, and then my birthday show. So there you go. There you go with that. Sid the Kid, you're coming up in a second. Let me think. I think I got everything covered here. Coming back to New York tomorrow. Want to thank everybody for supporting the show worldwide. I see a lot of worldwide people. Munich checking in. Good to see you. That's right. Drew's right. We all were young once doing stupid shit. Yeah, man, including me. I did some stupid shit. Who's done stupid shit? Raise your hand. All right? Happy now. So there you go. Let's bring Sid the Kid on. Let me get rid of all these banners. We're going to bring Sid on. We're going to do record of the week. We're going to bring Michael Graves back on. We're going to answer some questions. But this is a Sunday afternoon show, and we're having a good time with it. We're in no rush. Here. Rush. Spirit of the radio. Bytor and the Snow Dog. All right. Tim Fubar still doing stupid shit. Good. Christine Cambria. Laughing because I've done a lot of stupid shit. Giovanna Girl, stupid shit. Two hands up. We've all done stupid shit. Even the Crimson Ghost has his hand up. Doing stupid shit. Stupid shit is my middle name, says Thomas Starkey. All right. Jeff from Enrage. All right. You haven't done stupid shit? Okay. What's happening, Sid? Hey, Sid.
Hey, Drew, what's going on? And yes, I have also been guilty of doing way too much stupid shit way back in the day, too.
Man, you've never done stupid shit in your life, Sid. Knock it off.
Oh, you see me first?
You and Rat Bones. Rat Bones has never done stupid shit either. So there you go. Hey, let's bring on our guest, Michael Graves. Buddy,
Hey.
What's happening? And Sid, tell us a little bit. Let me dig up record of the week and let's talk about it. Here we go. Oh, now, yeah. Well, listen, bro. Let me just say before we get into it that this is one of my favorite bands. This is a band that was a huge influence on me. You know, this is one of my top bands that ever walked the planet Earth. So tell us a little bit about this record, Sid.
All right, guys. So for a lot of you who do not know about this record, this is, in my opinion, and maybe a lot of others' opinions, the punk rock record, especially being one of the first wave UK punk bands that came out back in 76. This came out in, I believe, April of 77. And when they recorded this at the CBS studios in London, it took roughly about 3 weekends, believe it or not, to get the whole session done. Even from the photo itself. Now, a little quick thing, a lot of people don't realize that the drummer is not in this photo originally. At the time of recording, he actually wanted to quit. And he stood around for a few more years. And of course, we kind of know what happened after that. But also with the steps of the photo, I believe Kate Simon took this photo in an area called Camden Town, which where the Clash were rehearsing for the record prior to the release. And those steps are iconic and they're actually still there today. You see my ugly mug there too, actually. And it was something really awesome. As much as the area has changed, those steps haven't. And over 40 plus years later, it's still there. And it's even for me to stand on those steps, I felt like just.
Did you when you were over there, did you say, "Hey, I got to go to those steps and take that picture"?
Oh, no, it was an automatic. I mean, not too far from Camden Town is the Underworld, which is also a very well-known venue out in London. Like a ton of hardcore bands and punk rock bands that play there. And Camden Town is literally, I believe, about a 10-minute walk. So I said, since I'm there, might as well go over there and just get it done.
No, that's awesome. And yeah, there was actually, being a little bit of a Clash fan myself, there was actually 2 versions of this. This record was originally released in the UK. It was only available in America as an import. And what happened after that, when the Clash had some success with their next record, which was Give 'Em Enough Rope, it was released. They sort of went back and released it in the States with a couple of different tracks on it. So there's 2 versions of this, really.
Yeah, the track selection is different. Few different songs, but really the original UK release is what I stand by. And listening to that from 11 years old on, like I never got tired of that record.
Yeah, here's our boy Chris Corkum up in Massachusetts. I love the import version with Protex Blue, Deny, etc. on it. So yeah, there's a couple of different. There's 2 different versions and a couple of different songs. No, Trade in Vain. Train in Vain was not a hidden track on this. This is the first Clash record. Train in Vain was a hidden track on London Calling.
Yeah. Drew, actually, even so, when the Clash did the second release or the re-release of the US version, it was, I believe they even did when they did White Riot, is more of a live version, which nothing against even their earlier live stuff, I didn't feel it was there. Whereas the original recorded version on the UK version, it still stands solid. With the original release, cut for cut, that record from front to back, you cannot really hate any song on that record. It's just pure straight punk. And even when Joe started the band originally back in, I believe, like in 76, he was doing a band called the 101ers, which was a very, very big pub rock band at the time. But when they saw they saw The Damned, they saw all these other bands, they're like, we're done. Like, they knew that their time was done, but they wanted to evolve as musicians. And in some instances, some people could say, oh, well, punk rock is so simplistic and that could be said, but you know what? It makes some people better musicians over time if they perfect the craft.
Hey,
And
Michael.
Yeah.
Any feeling about this record or Clash in general?
I love the simplicity. I'm going to talk about the artwork. I love the simplicity of the artwork where you just have, black and white. It's just there's nothing complex about it, and how much the Clash and artwork like this really influenced everything going forward. Everybody wanted to make their make a picture look like that. But just to touch on what Sid was just saying, where punk rock really, in my opinion, like punk rock became what New York City hardcore is. For me, I've been thinking more and more since we do this interview, how much I've been influenced by the music and all of the bands and everything in the movement. And this is the perfect example, an album like this, the original album from Clash, and here we are talking it on the show, and that it's a great record. It's a great punk record.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, like I could do a whole show and I could do a whole show and not have a guest on and just talk about the Clash. I mean, the Clash were a huge influence on me. Joe Strummer and Mick Jones as well. I'm just a big Clash, person. I've done Clash stuff, the Joe Strummer tribute thing in New York. I've done a couple of times with Jesse Malin. I was fortunate enough to do a couple of those, and yeah, the Clash really, they're big. The Clash is big in my world. There's a couple others, but the Clash are really up there. So cool, Sid. Thank you, buddy. That was a good one, man.
Hey, I had to pull a rabbit out of the hat for this one, and hey, look what happened.
It's good, Sid. Now that you come on once a week, when you do come on, you make it count.
Well, I gotta hold it and wait for the last minute, then boom.
Yeah. Yep.
So, one quick shout out, Drew, before we all go. I do want to
go. Here you go. Hold on. Here you go, boys and girls. It's the Sid the Kid shout out.
Hey, major, humongous props to Hoya. And condolences to his family. His mother recently passed away. I just got the news about this yesterday. There's a GoFundMe. So if you guys are on the Instagram, Facebook thing, you can see the information on there. If you can donate, please do. That's about it, guys. And and my radio show starts in about 5:00 Eastern Standard Time. If you're on MixLR, go check me out at SDK Sound System and listen to 2 hours of some good old crazy music.
Sid, I promise you, I will finish the show by 5 so everyone can move over to your show.
And I appreciate it, Jordan. Thank you, everybody, guys, and keep rolling with the show, guys. It's awesome.
Hey, we'll see you on Saturday in New York, right?
Oh yes, you will.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
Good to see you again, Sid.
All right. Cheers, Michael.
There he is, Sid the Kid.
Yeah. Boy.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's all good. Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to express my condolences to Hoya for Madball, whose mom passed away. My sincere condolences, my friend. My prayers are with you in these trying times. Let's keep moving here. I want to put a picture.
My condolences as well, from my family to yours, Hoya, for sure. Bless your heart.
Here's an interesting thing that popped up from Necros 8224. I first met Michael at the Misfits box set signing at Generation Records in '96. That day was fantastic. Jerry Only, Bobby Steele, Doyle, Frenchie Coma, Mr. Jim, and Chud were there as well signing.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I remember that. I remember feeling very intimidated. It was I knew I was being launched into this really strange fucking world.
I'm going to put a picture up and let's talk about this, because this is really when you and I really reconnected a bit. Here's a photo. Do you remember this stuff?
I got my Sub-Zero jacket on. Yeah. Yes.
Explain what this is.
What were we playing? What
We-
were we doing?
I think we were doing Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Yeah.
We might have been doing Knocking on Heaven's Door. And this photo and this photo's cool because this whole thing started as a dare when I was out on tour with this whole thing went down because when the Misfits got signed to Geffen, they were doing their first European tour. And of course, I've been friends with Jerry and those guys for a long time. I sing for Antidote, and when I joined Antidote, Googie was the drummer in Antidote after he left the Misfits. And I've known Jerry and Doyle for a very long time. And I was managing bands at the time, including Sub-Zero. And Sub-Zero just put a record out on Century Media Records, and they had a little bit of tour support. And I called Jerry up, and I was like, yo, Jerry, I got this band I'm managing. I hear you going on tour in Europe. Love to open up for you. And to his credit, he said, yo, anything for you, Drew Stone. And we arranged it, and Sub-Zero went out and opened up that whole tour with you guys.
That's Jerry right there in that picture.
That's right.
His hand standing right there watching us.
I'm getting to that. So you guys, I think you or Chud or someone had that 12-string acoustic guitar on the tour.
It was mine. Yeah,
it was your.
mine.
That's
Yeah.
your 12-string acoustic.
That's
and
right.
I started.
It was a Martin.
It was a Martin, right?
Yeah.
And I
boy.
started fucking around with that 12-string. And somehow it came up. I was playing backstage. We were playing. We're having fun. And I think it was Jerry or it might have been Doyle. I do think it was Jerry. Might have been Doyle. Someone said, "Yo, I fucking dare you to go out there and play a couple of acoustic songs for these punk kids in Italy." And
let's do this.
I went out there and I started opening up the Misfits shows. And you would come out and do a couple songs with me too. And there's Jerry on the left there cheering us on.
He's fucking eating it up. He loves it.
I got another one. Wait,
we killed, bro.
Yo, it was
I remember
awesome.
us killing.
Here you go. There you go.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Yep.
After we at some point, I don't know if it was after that tour, I went to Hawaii, and
Right.
I put that guitar in a closet. I was dating this really good looking fucking girl up there, and I put the guitar in the closet, and something fell on top of it and busted the headstock off.
Oh.
Yeah, Doyle fixed it. He glued it back together, and it was only a 6-string. It could only handle the tension of 6 strings after that.
Here's a shot from that.
You know what, Drew Stone? That guitar is the guitar that you hear on Fiend Without a Face.
Ah.
Yeah.
Cool. There's a shot of me and you guys on that tour.
Wow, look at us.
Look at that, huh?
That's a great picture.
It is.
We look
Listen,
good.
that's some look I was rocking there. It was sort of like
what's that guy?
Yeah.
I forget.
Father Guido Sarducci from Saturday Night. Where in Italy? She's asking. Listen, I'll say this: that tour that we did, that Misfits '97 European tour, man, we went everywhere, and we played multiple dates. And I remember we played Milan, and that tour
around Venice.
Well, you want to talk about Venice, bro?
That was
listen,
insane.
bro. Listen, don't fuck with me in my archive, bro. Here's a picture of us, all of us in Venice together.
No shit.
That's all of us. That's all of us
in that plaza with. I remember those fucking birds.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Wow.
Yep. That's the whole gang. Everybody. I'm in the middle there, and you're right above. You're right above me. Yep. And you see that girl that I'm with there?
Yeah, that's Christine.
Hey, Christine!
Look at us all. I was just telling the story. Do you remember the big fight in Ireland? Do you remember that?
I mean, there's a couple.
Well,
yes,
yeah.
Come here.
This one in particular.
Hey, somebody wants to say hello. Hold on. Say hi.
Hi, guys.
All right.
It was a great tour.
There you go. Christine wanted to say hi. No, she didn't. Christine, I made Christine say hi. But yeah,
Mandatory greeting.
yeah. But yeah, there we are, and that was in '97.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
That's fantastic.
And it was Misfits, Sub-Zero, and Sardonica, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. No, here's an interesting question. Was there a gig in Venice or off day for some sightseeing? It was an off day for sightseeing. There was no gig. There was no gig, you know? Yep.
Yeah,
Cool.
I remember that day.
So what were you talking about? The which brawl? There was a couple of them.
It was the one in Ireland. And that one in particular, because I tell the story when it was one of the band members in the whole thing had Dippolito bring this girl into the shower, and she got into the shower with one of these guys in the band, and she was like, what the fuck? She ran out and told her boyfriend. The boyfriend came out with like a whole gaggle of dudes.
Wow.
And this one girl, right? So we're all standing there, and Dippolito's standing there, and Chud and Morgan, and somebody takes a belt and whack and hits me.
Oh,
Like, right across the face, studded belt. So it goes off, and Doyle was standing there too. Doyle ran back into the bus. Long story short, after everybody squared off from another, I turned and squared off with this girl. I'm like, oh, kidding me? So punched her in the chest. And we're like right in front of the bus, and Doyle's at the top, and he can see out, and he tells this story. This chick I threw my right. She was just waiting for me to throw a punch, and she was just like, bah, 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 bah. Just threw this series of rapid punches that kept me going back. And Doyle says, I remember every time you got hit, your hair would.
You know who who was still drinking then, and who was in the middle of all these fights? In the middle was this guy. Here's I have an accompanying picture because he's hammered in this picture. Is Michael Alago. There he is. There he is on the left. Yo, first, I'll say this too. Yo,
he could drink, man.
Yo, don't forget, Michael Alago's a Puerto Rican kid from Brooklyn. He can scrap. Michael Alago can scrap.
I remember seeing him too. So when the shit got crazy, I remember seeing Michael Alago. He wasn't afraid of nothing.
No, and here's a shot. This is backstage. It's Alago, me, and I forgot this dude's name. I don't know if
Jimmy Dippolito.
Jimmy Dippolito, right?
Yeah.
And then I love in the back is Jerry Only blow drying his leather belt. Oh man,
Yep.
Here, what the heck is Jerry doing in that photo? I'll tell you.
He's drying off that.
He's blow drying his belt, because back then when I remember this is back then when you guys would play, you guys had stage clothes. You would just soak through your clothes every night, finish the gig, throw them in a bag, show up at the next gig, and this shit was soaking wet and disgusting, right?
Yeah. Yep. There's no such thing as laundry.
Look, you know who gets it? All the girls out there are like, he's drying his belt. He's drying his belt. Everybody, all the gals out there get it. Yeah. Listen, no shit. Photo credits. Oh, photo by Christine Cambria.
Right, of course.
I showed her these pictures. She's like, I took that picture. I took that picture. I took that picture. So yeah, that's listen, man. We had some really great times together, you and me.
Sure did.
Out there. Let me see if I have anything else from that. Well, listen, I like. Well, there's this one that I just posted. Here's you and me, and you know what I remember too. Do you remember those boat rides we used to take? The ferry from what was that, Finland to man, we took a bunch of fucking boat rides, man.
Yeah.
You know? Those things I remember. All those crazy boat rides that we took. I like Now I think this. Now, of course, this is a great shot right here, and this is
Wow.
This is a Polaroid taken by Michael Alago. I had it in my archives for the Michael Alago film that I directed, that you can watch on Netflix right now. And he had a couple of Polaroids that he took of you guys, and that's one of them. That's a great shot.
That's a great picture.
What happened between the first record and this was? I think this was a little bit later on, correct?
Yeah.
Tell us about this era a little bit.
That's a great picture, because the two things, I have a red shirt on and my hair is blonde.
Yeah.
And that was at the point of the band where there was a lot of tension between all of us. And I really believe that if we had somebody that was able to effectively harness that energy for a while, that Mike Alago was able to do, and then later, someone like Arturo Vega was able to do, because I purposely dyed my hair blonde because it was your hair had to be black to be in the band. Your hair had to be black. I was like, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm making my hair blonde. And I'm wearing a red fucking shirt to this photo shoot, which is great. And I love it the way that I'm leaning forward. It looks like the Crimson Ghost is smiling. Yeah, there's not happiness here, but it is such a strong. This is one of my favorite pictures we ever took, because it really, you can see everybody's separate personality, boy. Ooh.
This was a great look, man. And so
that's a great shot.
So you do the record on Geffen with Daniel Ray producing, and then Geffen doesn't pick up the option, and you end up getting signed to Roadrunner by Mike Gitter, correct?
That's right, Mike Gitter.
Tell us a little bit about Famous Monsters. I guess we could technically call it like the second cycle.
Yeah. Well, I learned to sing in between those two records. If you listen to American Psycho and Famous Monsters, my vocals are real different. I learned to sing. I was studying with Don Lawrence. Really.
Oh yeah.
Really.
For sure.
Studying with him, and he was driving me hard and worked.
He's the man.
And worked with me in America in the studio and produced some of those vocals on American Psycho. So in between American Psycho and Famous Monsters, the theory, everything clicked. Like everything that I was working on physically and mentally and technically, just it clicked. I got it. Like I got it. But also the influence of, at least for me, the influence of being around somebody like our during that time, Famous Monsters, Arturo Vega,
of course,
and Joey Ramone was around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of circle of things really started to influence the way that I wrote, and I again really focused on. I spent a lot of time talking to Arturo, and he really imparted a lot of beautiful wisdom, and told me the most amazing stories about his life and about punk rock and about New York. That as I was developing and writing some of this music, I really poured into it. Crying on Saturday Night is the perfect example. It was Arturo Vega that said, Michael, come here. I want to hear you write this beautiful song that is mean, New York City mean but beautiful, like something Joey would sing and Joey would want to hear. And I started working on a song called Crying on Saturday Night.
Just for those people that may not know, Arturo Vega was really almost considered like the fifth Ramone. He was the guy that designed the Ramones logo, with the eagle, Johnny, Joey, and he was there for every single show they played. He was their lighting guy. He was like their art director. And, there was always been a connection between the Ramones guys and the Misfits guys, and all that. So, sadly, Arturo passed away a bunch of years ago. Alago was very close with him as well. But, he really, he was like the fifth Beatle. He was like the fifth Ramone. He was there for everything.
Yeah, Dee Dee and Joey lived in his house there over
in the loft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we went there too, and I remember walking in and seeing all the drawings on the refrigerator, and I couldn't, for a young guy like me that grew up in Dumont, I was young. All these guys were older. These were the old guys in school, and they were just showing me this world, and it was just an amazing thing to be a part of. And as the backdrop in that, it was real tumultuous in the band, and nobody was getting along. I wasn't even in the band during Famous Monsters. I was removed from everything. I was just on a business level. I was just working for everybody. I was working for Roadrunner, and I was working for the Misfits. But I was just a young man. I wanted to be with my friends, Doyle and Chud at that time. They were my best friends in the world. I just wanted to make music with these guys.
I mean, tell us a little bit about. So, what was the end? How did you leave the band, so to speak? Listen, hindsight's 2020, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I left because at the end of the day, again, I was a young man. We were at the top of our game. We had money. We had everything. But I was miserable, bro. I was miserable. I felt horrible all the time. I didn't look forward to anything. And all of this stuff that was happening, I couldn't square it up. What profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul in the process was something that kept on going in my head. I pictured myself literally hanging myself in the crew bus where I was living at the time. It was because the duality of it was just nuts. And I would talk to these guys about it, and I'm saying these guys, who I needed to talk, the band, and from the top it always came, Michael, if you're not happy, there's a long line of people behind you that would love to be in your place, and that will take your place in a second. So basically shut up or go home. And to me, that was just saying, bro, you're nothing special. You're just here. You're just a placeholder. Nothing that you did in the past. None of what you went through from the time Pete Steele said, what the fuck are you guys doing? This kid is awesome. From that time forward, nothing I did was special. And nobody cared about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody cared about Michael. All that was cared about was what was being extracted from me. The music and the performance is what they wanted. Nobody cared about me, and it was very, very clear when I started to reach out and say that these things were happening to me and I was feeling this way, whether it was these managers or lawyers. Nobody fucking cared. Nobody fucking cared about me. And so I said, you know what? I'm done. I don't need the lights. Like, I'm not here to sign autographs. It's not about me, and it's not about the money or all the fucking hot chicks or hanging out with the guys from Marilyn Manson or Alice in Chains or Rob Zombie. I love everybody, but, and this was also coming off a tour where I got to spend a lot of time with Dave Mustaine, and a lot of my decision-making really came into the things that him and I talked about at the end for me. And Arturo Vega and all these beautiful people that were around me. I said, you know what? I'd rather go home and nobody ever hear from me again, and I live on the corner of the street in a box with my integrity and knowing that I stood for the things that are important to me, and I didn't just go along to get along and make a decision based on, well, I'll just, take another check, or maybe I'll do this, because I knew that there were two roads in front of me, and it was very, very important that I choose the right one. And when I said this to these guys that I was thinking about this, they didn't care. Nobody cared. And so I knew I was making the right decision, and I went home. I went to Seaside Heights, New Jersey.
Beware your dreams, for they may come true.
My mother always says that to me. She always said that to me. Michael, be careful what you wish for. It might come true.
Beware your dreams, for it may come true.
That's right.
That's
right.
Listen.
What profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul in the process?
Yeah. And listen, I know from a lot of comments that our people, because look, our show is very interactive, man. So I know a lot of what I'm seeing from a lot of our people is they love you, bro, and you were great in that band, and like listen. When you left, it really. There's some people out there that really feel like you were the best. You were the best person that ever sang in that band. So
I'm so connected to the family of hardcore musicians, and I it's such a was and is such a huge part of my life. I came up through the scene. I remember being on the road at H2O and going, "You guys are what? Vegan? Like, why are you just eating those seeds? And having conversations about taking care of your body and natural eating and all of these things that eventually became so much a part of what I am now. It was through New York City, it was through the hardcore and all these, like Murphy's Law and Jimmy Gestapo. I always said, we have this weird connection, Jimmy and I, and I was on the road somewhere in the fucking world, and I'm in the van and I'm talking to my guys about Jimmy Gestapo and I. And in the old days, and I'm rolling up a joint as we're rolling, and we're going down the highway, and I hear a fucking car beeping to my right as coming up passing us on the right. I turn, and I swear on my life, it's Jimmy Gestapo in the van with his band. Just randomly, he knew that he saw another white van, and he was like, "Who's this over here in this band?" And came up, and as I'm telling this story, there's Jimmy, and I go, I'm doing this. I'm like, "You want?" And we pulled over. I don't know where we were, in the middle of nowhere. As I'm talking about Jimmy, boom, there he is. And again, Jimmy Gestapo was one of those people. He was around at the end, and would sidebar me and always say, "Listen, kid, you got to be tough, and don't worry about what these fucking guys are saying, and you got to be you." And man, so I'm. So when the community of folks that are commenting on the board out there are saying that, God love you, respect. I'm just a kid from Dumont, and y'all have loved me so much. Thank you.
Awesome, bro. I know you and Doyle are still friends. I'm friends with Doyle, and I guess it was a while. I guess it was about 10 years ago now. Didn't you jump up and do like a little reunion type thing and get up and play a couple songs with him? Was that Starland Ballroom?
Starland Ballroom. He was out with Glenn. He was opening up for Glenn, and he called me up. He said, "Listen, I know you're down the shore. Why don't you come on over and just hop up on the stage and do a couple of songs?" Because I think Chud was playing for him too at that time. So it was me, Chud, Goolsby, and Doyle.
Nice.
And yeah, I got a babysitter to watch my kids, and I drove down there and hopped up on the stage. And I remember as I was leaving, it was just a Danzig show. I remember the whole crowd's going, "Michael Graves." I'm thinking to myself, I gotta get the fuck out of here, man. Glenn's gonna find me and beat my ass.
Oh, that's funny. So you leave the Misfits, and eventually you get your own thing happening, and you really you have a real dedicated and you have a real dedicated fan base that really love your work. You're very fortunate in that regard, I've noticed that about your people, and how did that? What was sort of the series? You left the band and then you kind of got right back out there, right, doing your own thing.
I did. We got right back out there, and Chud and I started a band called Graves. And, this is 2000, 2001. And right after the towers came down, boom, we were right back out on the road. I remember going to rehearsals and seeing fucking smoke in the sky, So yeah, I got right back to it. And eventually, Chud and I had a falling out, and I left the band. And Loki plays guitar for me now. With me, not for me, with me, and we started Gotham Road.
Right.
Gotham Road, we took to the road, and in those years, I like you said, I'm a bit of a controversial figure. I speak what's on my mind, and I have, and so there was a lot of fallout from some of the things that I was involved with, and in saying, and the things that I was going up against at the time, really ran me out of the music business. And I know we're not going to get too much into it, but it's important for my path. I was run out of the music business, and I joined the military. I joined the United States Marine Corps. Joined the United States Marine Corps and went away for a while, and then quit. And there's a long story that's in with that as well. I know a lot of people see on my wiki page. I never, because of me getting out of the military the way that I did and the reasons for it, I gotta say I don't like taking the, when people thank me, it feels very uncomfortable because there's actual guys that put their lives on the line. But in that, I learned a lot. I worked a lot with recruitment and young people who made the attachment with my music, and I was able to work with young people that were coming back from the war and who was listening to my music. And so I got out of that. I became an EMT, and and in the back of an ambulance one day, I was taking care of this guy who stepped in front of a train, and I'm praying. I'm like, Lord, I'm trying to, what am I doing here? And the answer came to me, and I really wanted to dedicate my life to working with and for people, and to get to them before they stepped in front of the train. Even though I was a good medic and all, I really wanted to get to people. I still do want to get to people before they step in front of that train. So I rededicated myself to music and learning how to play the guitar and singing. And I started talking to and communicating with a young man whose name is Damian Eccles, who at the time was on death row in Little Rock,
He's
Arkansas.
one of the Memphis Three, right?
Right, the West Memphis Three.
Yeah.
And through that, I worked with Henry Rollins and Jello Biafra. I met this really wonderful woman. Her name is Angie Vela, who coordinated and built West Memphis 3 World Awareness Day. I worked with Brent and Lisa and Burke and everybody at WM3.org and Mara Leverett and just all these amazing people, and the Innocence Project. And I created music around and through this movement, and Damien and I wrote a record together, and eventually, pushed forward and got my career back together. And the reason that it's I now I have, you say that I have this fan base the way that they are, is because from that time, I've consistently built that bond with my fans, because I'm not one of these guys, and I never was that. Well, for a while I was never one of these guys that after the show is done, I just go back, whatever, and sit backstage. I go to the merch booth and I talk to people and I touch them and I shake their hand and I hug them and I ask them their name, and we talk about our lives, and I hear people's stories of the connections that the Misfits music and Michael Graves' music has to their lives, and so I just have this incredible connection, this synergy that's been built over the decades of me doing this, that resonates, within my community of folks that love this music that I'm doing.
That's awesome. I mean, I can relate to that. I can. I always find the time, for young filmmakers and for young musicians, and I try to make myself as available as possible. I will say I got to shout out Lou Kohler from Sick of It All, who to me is really one of the most accessible guys at that sort of level, and that inspires me, and that is really part of what we talked about many times here on the show, is just part of the punk rock and hardcore ethos of, that's what it is, and that's what I carry with me in my life and everything that I do.
That's and again, I came up through this scene, and I saw guys like Lou and you and all everybody that was in this scene, the way that the way that they treated their fans, the way that they treated each other, the respect that was given to each other, and it was like punk rock on one side was withering away. There was like this weenie-ish thing about it, and it was like and mediocrity, and I can only maybe just wake up at like noon and practice my guitar for 2 hours. It'll be fine. But there was this ferocity with New York City hardcore, and family and friends, and ideals and respect to each other and to the fans, and this the masculinity, right? And taking care of yourself and taking care of your mind and your body and being strong and tough was something that really, really resonated, and that the punk scene didn't have. So for me, watching all you guys again, it's fine. I tell Doyle all the time, I'm like, yo, you built me. If you guys are fucking mad and you're pissed off, you built me. You made me.
Look who's checking in here. We got to shout out our old friend Lou DeBella from Sub-Zero stopping by to say hi.
Lou DeBella. Yeah, man.
Lou DeBella, man. And of course, like we said, Sub-Zero was out on that Misfits European 1997 tour, and it was incredible, man. Yeah. That was incredible. Hey, will you know what? I got a favor to ask. Never done this on the show before. I see that acoustic guitar behind you.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any chance as we head towards the end of the show, you could I'll go shout out the sponsors that you could pull that thing out and
you want me to jam?
Bro.
I got you. Yeah, go ahead. Let me plug her in. Let me plug it in and we'll do this.
All right. Do your thing. I'll bring you back in 2 minutes. Who's ready for this? This is going to be great. Stoked. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles live, sponsored by Fryette, sponsored by Fryette Amplification, New York Hardcore Comics, and the Organic Grill. What's happening? Our guest today is Michael Graves. What a great show. I'm really enjoying it. And it just goes to show, man, the community, the music, that's why we're here. I'm not running a really political show here. We're all here to just kind of get our heads out of all that stuff that's going on the news and that's out there. I want to thank everybody around the world that supported the show. Real quick, I want to put up, for those that want to throw their hat in the ring, so to speak, there's my Patreon page. Come aboard and be a patron on my Patreon page. Also, for those that can't handle the statistical density of Patreon, there's my PayPal page. It's your support. It's your support. It's your support is what makes this show happen. What the fuck's on his chin? I guess I can't bring Jim back to New York with me, huh? My dad's like, throw that fucking thing out. It's like, wait, hold on. Where's my dad's banner? Hold on. This will be funny. There you go. Words of wisdom from Arnie Stone. Throw that fucking thing out. Get it out of here. Arnie don't see the humor in Jim. Get it out. It's dead. It's probably got disease. Throw it out. So I'm going to have to hide him somewhere in the house. Can't throw him out, Anyway, everything else, got some shows coming up. Dave Smalley's on Wednesday. Lukey Luke is on Friday. Steve Zing from Sam Hain is on Sunday. Christina Lise McCarthy's coming up. My birthday show is June 28th. And our guest is you. All you clowns are going to come on the show. So we're kind of stoked on that. And what else? If you have Netflix, I don't know if we talked about this at all. If you're looking for something to watch, where the hell is that? Hold on. Stick with me a second. Where the fuck? Hold on. I'm determined to find this. But it has disappeared once again. Anyway, watch my film on Netflix. Who the fuck is that guy? The Fabulous Journey of Michael Lago. If you have Amazon Prime, watch the New York Hardcore Chronicles film or XXX All Ages XXX, the Boston Hardcore film. Also on Amazon is the New York Hardcore Chronicles film 1.5. I'm in production now for a new film. The trailer's up on my Patreon page. Should be out probably within the next year, and got a lot of other things cooking. We're doing a informal gathering at Tompkins Square Park on Saturday. If you're in the New York area and want to come down, don't stand too fucking close to me, but you're welcome to come down to the park. And certainly don't fucking breathe on me. All right. I've been in fucking Florida here for 13 weeks, and I'm coming back to New York. It's bad enough I got to sit on a fucking plane with fucking. I'm probably gonna end up in the middle seat. Fucking people breathing on me. So I'm gonna come to Tompkins Square Park. Don't breathe on me. All right. Shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there you go. Let me get rid of these banners, and got a real treat. Today. Here we go. No middle seats. Nah, that's not what I heard, bro. My brother just flew down here and said he was in the friggin' middle seat. You know. So, what time, Drew? We're gonna get together in the park, weather permitting, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And that should be pretty cool. And yes, Chris Corkum, Dave Smalley, and Zing is coming up too. You know, so that's that. What else? Good. All right, here we go. It's all good. Rat Bones and Sid the Kid, I know you're out there. We'll bring you guys back. Let's bring Michael back in here. Hey, buddy.
Hey. All right.
Let me get all this other crap off the screen here.
You hear that?
Yeah, sounds good, man. That sounds good. Hold on. Let me get these banners off. Hold on. I want all the banners off. This is exciting. What are you gonna play, bro?
Well,
you pick one, and then you do pick one, and then I'll request one.
All right. Well, I figured since we were talking about crying on Saturday night, and everybody probably knows that one.
Good one.
For Arturo Vega.
There's 52 ways to murder anyone. 1, 2, or the same. They both work well. Coming clean for Amy. Julie doesn't scream as well, and the cops won't listen all night. So maybe I'll be over as soon as I fill them all in. I can remember when I saw her last. We were running around having a blast, but now the backseat of the drive-in is so lonely without you. I know when you're home, I was thinking about you. There was something I forgot to say, crying on Saturday night. I was cruising without you. They were playing our song, crying on Saturday night.
Woo!
Yeah.
Wow. Man, you have a gift, bro. You have an incredibly beautiful voice, man. You really
Thanks,
do.
you Stone. Thanks,
Yeah,
brother.
that got me choked up, bro. That was awesome.
Yeah, a lot of life, man. We've lived a
Phew.
lot of life. I know it. Yeah.
That was
And
heavy.
you
Yeah.
know, when I think back to those days with you guys, those are the happiest days of my life. Truly, all that. And really has made me the man that I am. All of those experiences, all those things that I went through, and all the influence that you and all those boys, from Pete all the way through. And I know that we've lost a lot of fucking people along the way, a lot of good people, people that influenced me. Again, like I said, people that pulled me inside and when I most needed it, just said, hey, Michael, it's going to be all right. You're going to be all right. Man, and I stand on the shoulders of all of that.
Whew.
Including you, brother. Including
Thank you,
you.
man. Wow, where do we go from here?
Ah.
Yeah, man. Wow. Well, let's see. Let's take a question or two, and I have a request for a last song. We'll do an outro with.
All right.
I want to thank everybody out there for your support. My tenure here in Florida is coming to an end. I'm heading back to New York tomorrow. So the next show you see with Dave Smalley will be in New York City. And I just want to thank everyone for making this show a success worldwide. It's been a great run, and we're going to continue on with it. And, thank you so much. That's from the bottom of my heart. I mean that. So let's take a couple questions. Maybe somebody has a question for Graves, and then we'll wrap it up. You know what? I'm gonna bring on my guys, Michael, for a second.
Yeah.
And I like to bring in my crew, Sid the Kid and Rat Bones and Steven.
Michael, nice to see you, man.
Good to see you guys.
Anything you guys got?
Yeah.
Anything you got? Anything for Michael Graves? You guys?
I got a question. Tell me about When We Were Angels. I love that song. I think that's amazing when you do it, Marquis.
You know, I was so through the Misfits when we were doing WCW, I became real close with Ian Hodgkinson, who's Vampiro, and Vamp had just started the chapter of the first chapter of the Guardian Angels in Mexico City, and so he was telling me stories about that and what he was doing, and I was learning about Guardian Angels, and it just came from that. Ian said, it'd be a really cool idea if you wrote a song called "When We Were Angels," and so I turned around, I started working on, I started hitting the piano, and I wrote that song. And because the conversations that I was having again with Ian, who was being mentored obviously by another great New Yorker, Curtis Sliwa. Here, Vamp was doing this superhero work and trying in non-violent ways to talk down and tamp down some of this horrendous violence that was happening in Mexico City. And so I would be on the phone with him, and we would talk about all these things, and and it came up through an emotional conversation one night about When We Were Angels.
Cool. Sid, Rat Bones?
No, I just want to say, Michael, it was really great hearing your journey, and so many great bands, right? You replaced the Misfits singer. It's like what an effort to do at the time, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, Axl Rose sang for AC/DC, and it works. It's like other bands have done that. Judas Priest had Ripper. It's just Jason Newsted with Metallica. As long as the music's pure, and I really like what you did, that you didn't try to just be another Jerry. You didn't try to fill no one's shoes. You really took it upon yourself to be pure in the music and give it your own take. And kudos for that. I got to see you one time at the Alive and Well in Asbury Park, and I'm a little older than you. I'm 53. And we were like, me and my friends, whoa, that guy, we're not going to do this. I listened to it, and that's those whole songs that I love. You sounded like it. That's the most important thing to a real fan of music. So, and you've built something, and you have such a great attitude on life. So it was really good hearing.
Thank you. A lot of people don't realize that, Drew Stone. When I first started with the Misfits in the Resurrection days, like I was playing for like my big brother and all his friends, and I was just a little weenie guy from Dumont, New Jersey, that everybody chased around in their cars and beat me up, right? So now here I am. I'm the guy that's leading the Misfits. Here I am. I'm at the the tip of the spear. I'm the Misfits guy, and trial by fire, bro.
Something that I remember fondly when we were out on the road in 1997. It was the Misfits' first ever European shows. It was their first ever. We were going to places for the first time. And I remember fondly how people were just so excited to be able to see that band, and you were fronting it, and you were doing a great job. And I just remember some of those shows being really, really special, man. There were some shows I remember in Italy and in France and in Spain where like people were just. It was heavy, man. It was heavy.
It was the days before the barricade too.
That's right.
So it was just they're right here. They're behind you. They're
Right. That's great. Hey, Sid.
And let's say one thing, Drew. Also,
yeah. Go ahead.
We all want to forget because we all relived the heyday our own way. When we were into the Misfits, I'm not first generation, I'm second generation. So all my whole Misfits love was like a vapor of what I just missed. For all those 15 years of music love. The band didn't even exist. So it's like, right there, that blows your mind. It's like, as time goes on, the tale gets told differently. Through Stone.
Yep. All right. Hey, Sid, I know you got a show after. We'll let you go. I want to get off the air so people can get to your show. Sid, thank you. We'll see you. I'll see you on Saturday. We'll see you here next week for Record of the Week. Steven Messina, you're the man. This show couldn't happen without you. I thank you so much. All your graphics and everything. You have an infinite amount of patience with me, and I appreciate that. And I'm going to see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow in Manhattan, right?
In the flesh.
All right, buddy. I'll see you soon. Rap Bones, thank you for all that you do, buddy. I appreciate it. I know you take this shit seriously, man. I know it's important to you. It's important to us too, man.
Absolutely, man, guys.
Thank you, bro. We'll see you soon.
And we'll see you soon, guys.
Thanks, Rap Bones. Respect, bro.
My people. My people. My party, my people, and it's heavy. I'm heading back to New York for the first time in 13 weeks. I've been down here with my dad, and I came down here for 4 days, and I ended up staying for 13 weeks. So it's a crazy world. It's a crazy world right now, but hopefully things are gonna calm down and level out. Yeah. So hey, look, man, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. I mean, in light of everything, again, like I said, thank you. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah. So can I make
a lot of life together?
Can I make a request as we head off here?
Yeah, if I know it, I'll play it.
Can you play Dig Up Her Bones?
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, you do.
Time is where she'll be. Take anything as long as it's mine, and the door it opens is the way back in. Or is it the way out. Walk on, I walk on. Singing, walk on. Any place is where she'll be. Any place she'll see you from. Lies and secrets become your world. Anytime and anywhere she takes me away. And death climbs up the steps one by one to give you the rose that's been burned by her sun. Point me to the sky above. I can get there on my own. Walk me to the graveyard. Dig up her bones. Dig up her bones. Lord, so I walk on. I walk on. I've seen the demon's face, and I have heard of her death place. I fall down on my knees in praise of the horrible things that took her away. And death climbs up the steps one by one to give you the rose that's been burned by her sun. Point me to the sky above. I can get there on my own. Walk me to the graveyard. Dig up a bones. Point me to the sky above. I can get there on my own. Walk me to the graveyard. Dig up her bones. Dig up her bones.
Woo! Wow. Well, that sure brought back some memories.
Yeah.
Even that's my dad cheering in the distance, man. That was really special. I was really emotional. It really brought back a lot of memories for me, man.
Thank you, Drew.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being on the show today. I love you, bro.
I love you too, Drew. Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. You take care of yourself. Get back to New York safe.
Thank you, man.
Love you, brother.
Love you. Wow. What a way to end it here in Florida. It was really heavy. Thanks to everybody around the world that's been supporting the show. Thank you so much. The next time I see you, I'll be in New York City. Do good things, and good things will come to you.